Chapter 4. The scene opens with Xu Qing stumbling upon a group of 7 scavengers. These aren't your typical heroes. They're bottom-lineless vultures drawn to the forbidden region by the promise of loot. Among them is a massive, scarred man nicknamed Cruel Ox, wielding a battle axe and a grin that screams villain. Cruel Ox sees Xu Qing, a small, frail-looking boy, and thinks one thing: easy prey. He lunges, expecting a quick kill, but Xu Qing isn't normal. He's got wolf-like eyes. In a blur of motion, Xu Qing dodges the axe, rolls, and strikes back. He uses an iron skewer to slice the big man's chin, and then plunges a dagger straight through his foot, pinning him to the mud. It's a brutal display of efficiency. The fight is broken up by the group leader, Sergeant Thunder, a mysterious old man who senses something different about Xu Qing. He invites the boy to join them. Xu Qing agrees, but not because he wants friends. He's playing the long game. Throughout the day, Xu Qing acts completely subservient. He uses his knowledge of the city to help the scavengers find massive amounts of loot. He specifically targets Cruel Ox's greed, piling more and more treasure onto the man until he's physically exhausted. Why? Because Xu Qing knows Cruel Ox still wants to kill him. By making him carry more weight, he's effectively disarming him without ever drawing a blade. Night falls. The camp is protected by grus and mutant beasts, by incense and powder. Everyone is asleep except Xu Qing. He creeps into Cruel Ox's tent. No hesitation, no monologue. He drives his iron skewer through the man's throat and covers his mouth to muffle the dying screams. To make sure there's no trace, he uses a poisonous viper head to dissolve the body into a puddle of green liquid. When morning comes, the tent and the man are gone. The other scavengers assume Cruel Ox just ran off with the loot. Only Sergeant Thunder gives the kid a long, knowing look. Chapter 5. The story picks up with Xu Qing trailing the scavenger group as they finally navigate out of the eastern ruins of South Phoenix. For days, they've been surrounded by a biting, unnatural chill, but as they reach the edge of the Forbidden Zone, Xu Qing witnesses something incredible. It's like an invisible wall exists between two worlds. Behind him, the ruins are gloomy, frigid, and suffocating. But just a step forward, the air turns warm. The stars actually shine. He even sees a rabbit, a normal, non-mutated animal, watching them from the brush. For a kid who has spent his life in the slums and the ruins, this ordinary world feels like a dream. But don't let the scenery fool you. Xu Qing is still as sharp as a blade. He's been calculating his odds this whole time, realizing that while he can take any one scavenger in a fair fight, 3-on-1 would be his end. He stays close enough to listen, but far enough to vanish if things go south. As the scavengers relax, they start talking, and this is where we get some massive world building. We hear about the 7 Blood Eyes, a powerful and mysterious organization that controls massive cities like Antlerville. The scavengers dream of buying property there or even becoming disciples, but the barrier to entry is insane. You need massive amounts of spirit coins or a recommendation from a disciple. They also mentioned the revered ancient mainland, the legendary ancestral home of humanity across the ocean. This is where Sergeant Thunder, the grizzled leader of the group, finally speaks up. He reveals there are only 4 legit ways to reach that mainland. Reach Foundation establishment by the age 15, which makes you a chosen. Pay a staggering 300,000 spirit coins, become a master pill concoctor, or be hand-picked by a sect leader or a great clan. But then Thunder mentions a 5th way, and the mood instantly turns cold. He talks about living treasures. Xu Qing remembers kids from the slums being taken away by wealthy people, with everyone saying they were lucky to become treasures. But Thunder reveals the sickening truth. A living treasure is a human being whose body is surgically linked to a magical artifact. Their flesh acts as a filter, absorbing the toxic mutagen, so the master can use the weapon safely. The cost? The person literally withers away and dies in agony. It's a dark realization for Xu Qing. In this world, the poor aren't just workers, they are disposable filters for the rich. Despite the grim revelations, we see a softer side of Sergeant Thunder. He offers Xu Qing some steamed buns. Now watch Xu Qing's reaction here. It's a masterclass in survivalist paranoia. He doesn't just eat them, he fakes a bite first to see if the scavengers react. Then he holds the food in his mouth to check for poison. Only when he's 100% sure it's safe does he wolf them down. He even saves the last one like it's a bar of gold. When Thunder gives him a sleeping bag to keep, Xu Qing asks the simplest, most heartbreaking question: why? Thunder's answer is grounded. We're all losers. It's fate. He doesn't want money. He just tells the kid to buy him some roasted snake later. It's a small spark of connection in a world that usually rewards cruelty. The journey continues for 7 days until only Xu Qing and Thunder remain. They arrive at the Scavenger Basecamp, a lawless settlement built right next to another forbidden region. Thunder explains the economy here. The forbidden region produces 7-leaf clover, a vital ingredient for white boluses, pills that cultivators use to purge mutagen from their systems. Since the high and mighty cultivators are too afraid to risk the toxic air themselves, they pay outlaws, scavengers, to do the dirty work. But there's a catch. You can't just walk into the camp and start living there. To get a residence permit, Xu Qing has to pass a beast trial. Thunder's final warning defines the entire series. The weak are the prey of the strong. Xu Qing is 14. He's got 1 year left if he wants to be a chosen. He's entering a den of outlaws where strength is the only currency, and his only friend is an old man who likes eating snakes. The stakes are rising, and the world is getting wider and much more terrifying.
Chapter 6. South Phoenix is basically a massive island, cut in half by the Mountains of Truth. To the southwest lies a forbidden region so toxic it covers 70% of the land. The northeast is where the humans huddle, but even there, safety is a luxury. Only the lucky live in walled cities. The desperate, they end up in places like this base camp. From the mountain peak, Xu Qing looks down and sees a sprawling mess of tents and smoke. To anyone else, it's a nightmare. To Xu Qing, he looks at the chaos, the filth, and the danger and says something chilling. Seems like the slums back home. He doesn't feel fear, he feels familiarity. As they enter the camp, we see how much weight Sergeant Thunder carries. Every scavenger they pass looks at the old man with genuine respect. This guy isn't just a scavenger, he's a legend in this dump. They head straight to the center of the camp, where a massive wooden arena stands. This is the Beast Arena, the focal point of the camp's justice and entertainment. Here they meet a thin man with a goatee who radiates spirit power. He's a cultivator, and he looks at Xu Qing like he's looking at a piece of gum on his shoe. When asked for a name, Thunder doesn't give one. He just calls him the Kid. Why? Because in a place like this, names are for people who survive. Until Xu Qing proves he can stay alive, he's just another kid passing through. Xu Qing is tossed into a townhouse with 4 others who are waiting for their trial. 2 young men who are clearly out of their league. An older scavenger who's just moving camps and looks at everyone with a mocking sneer. A young girl with a massive scar on her face, trembling in the corner. But pay attention to Xu Qing's instincts here. While the others talk, he notices the girl. They mention she's a survivor of the god opening his eyes, the same cataclysm Xu Qing escaped. He knows better than anyone. If a young girl survived that and made it here, she's not weak. She's a predator in hiding, just like him. While the others gossip and suck up to the older scavenger, Xu Qing does the only thing that matters. He meditates. He cultivates. Every second spent not getting stronger is a second spent dying. The rules of the beast trial are brutally simple. The camp owner catches mutant beasts. You draw straw. You fight. Outcome A, you kill the beast and get a residence permit. Outcome B, you die and become beast food. It's a win-win for the camp. The scavengers get to bet on the blood, the owner makes money on tickets, and the weak are filtered out of the population. Morning comes and the door slams open. It's showtime. As they walk into the arena, the atmosphere is deafening. 100 scavengers, men and women who look more like devils than humans, are screaming for blood. The other candidates are pale with fear or shaking with nerves. But look at Xu Qing. He's not looking at the crowd. He's scouting. He's measuring the height of the wooden walls. He's looking for exits. He's calculating whether the noise will scare the beast or make it go berserk. He's already decided this fight ends fast or it doesn't end at all.